Hello everyone and welcome to the Tavern. Today we're covering a story that I originally didn't think was worth covering. While I did comment about it on Twitter, I didn't think there was enough to this story to warrant a video. But that's the problem, isn't it? Every once in a while there'll be these little stories from Wizards of the Coast or Games Workshop, and I go, well, that's not really worth a video. And every time I let something like that slide, it is almost a tacit acceptance of what they're doing. I need to be more vocal and I need to fight harder. That's what I'm learning. Because if all I do is just let something slide and let something slide and let something slide, before I know it, things will be way worse than they are right now. Thus, I will do my part by letting everyone know what's going on and why we should fight. Before we break down the story I want to explore, let's do a little bit of background on the sins of Wizards of the Coast. Now, this is only going to go back a few years, because honestly, if I covered every bad thing they've ever done, this video would be several hours long. First off, we have the OGL debacle, when they decided to make horrendous changes to the Open Gaming license in order to restrict what other companies could do and milk them for more money in order to make Dungeons & Dragons a more dominant brand and eliminate as much competition as possible, or weaken the competition enough that they aren't a threat to D&D's overall dominance of the market. When that blew up in their face, they ended up going out and making a lot of different comments to try to make their image look better. Unfortunately, during that time, they made commentary about how D&D doesn't need white people to play their games, and how half-races are inherently racist, which is a fine insult to anyone of mixed descent, such as myself, playing their games. Then we had multiple accusations of AI art being used in their products, from Bigby Presents Glory of the Giants to various promotional works they've did for Magic the Gathering. Then we have the recent accusations of a Magic the Gathering artist tracing someone else's work. Now, granted, this could also be AI art, as AI art tends to sample other existing pieces of art, but either way, this is a horrible debacle that shows the cheap, haphazard way they're treating their products, and the quality of people they're hiring in order to make them. Then we have the various tiny changes here and there to D&D Beyond. While I don't know that many people who are still using this service, you can tell that they want to get as much money as they can out of those who do. The most recent change, of course, is them changing the system from offering packs or pieces to only offering packs, making it that you have to buy everything as a pack, rather than the piecemeal way it used to be done. So instead of buying just what you really need for your game, they instead force you to buy a lot more, even if all you need is just one or two parts of that entire package. This is in addition to various little minor tweaks they've made to the homebrew segment of this product. Last but not least, there's the AI engineer job, which is clearly designed to start using AI-based dungeon masters in D&D Beyond and possibly other products. And that story just adds to the overall haphazard way the IP is being treated. The more humans they can remove from the process of making Dungeons & Dragons, the more money they can save. It also means that customers will be getting an inferior product. And if they can get away with giving us inferior products, they will. That brings me to today's story. There has been a posting for the digital and physical release of the 2024 core rulebook. This includes digital pre-order bonuses. While the art book is a nice touch, digital dice and a special gold dragon that can be used in the 3D beta of the new D&D Beyond feels a bit shady. Hear me out. Digital products can be removed or changed whenever they want. While the art book will likely be a PDF you could download, the dice and the dragon are only there as long as they want them to be there. In addition to that, it's not even real dice or a real mini. It's virtual, like everything they're trying to make D&D become. This is no longer something where we can hold an object in our hands and know that it is real. It is whatever they say it is. And if you don't think they can change digital books, then I would highly recommend looking up stories about them changing digital books. I wouldn't harp about hard copies so much if I knew that digital copies would be safe. However, unless you download the book in its first edition format, you will have your digital book, especially if you have to read it on their website, changed whenever the hell they feel like it. More than that, this is a sign of what's to come. Because if they get away with it with the core rulebook, they will obviously try it with the Monster Manual and the DM's Guide. Every book they release after this will start providing these things. Now, if you are a D&D Beyond subscriber, then I guess this can be viewed as a good thing. It allows you to expand what you already have, and you get some free items without having to pay for extra little things you can use in your games. That being said, I'd like to compare this to free-to-play games. For those who don't know, a free-to-play game relies on a handful of whales who give a lot of money to the game, while the average player won't give that much, and there are plenty of players who just give nothing ever. Due to this, the product can survive on the backs of a handful of people. While that doesn't sound like a bad thing, as most of us could say, well, I'm not one of those people, it's still exploiting the customer. It takes advantage of that FOMO feeling that has been pushed on us by social media for years now. It plays off people's need for a complete collection. I've talked with plenty of people who said, I need to fill out the collection. And usually what breaks a person of that habit is when they wail for something in a game and they never get it. And it upsets them so much, they either quit or decide, screw it, I don't need every single item or every single character. The same can be said for limited edition products that sell out like that. When that happens, those of us who are heavy on the collector's side just go, okay, well, if I can't have that, I don't really need everything else anymore because my collection is broken. Just like I was warning about the 50th anniversary set that costs $200 for a box of boxes that won't even contain every single mini. You can't give in to the customer exploitation schemes, because once you do it, they'll try to scheme you again and again and again and again. There is no end to this. As long as Wizards of the Coast and Hasbro can make money, they will exploit you for that money. Hasbro made comment about how Dungeons & Dragons and Magic the Gathering are not monetized enough. And now we're seeing them use techniques that show up in a lot of video games. Pre-order now and get this digital content, most of which is kind of meh, but they nudge at that little FOMO part of your brain and make you want to buy it in order to feel that rush and that ability to point to everyone else and say, I have this pre-order DLC because I'm awesome. No, you only have that pre-order DLC because you gave in to a monetization scheme. This is only the beginning of what's going to be a big wave of monetization of D&D. It's already been seen on D&D Beyond, and we're going to see more of it with the upcoming products in the 2024 edition, which they changed the name of because 1D&D was so despised. The only real answer to this is to fight back. And we do that best by fighting with our wallets. You don't have to buy anything from D&D. If you already have your old books, play your old books. Sure, you can't really enjoy Adventures League if you don't have the new books because they'll be forced to use the new rule system, but you can find friends, or you can find games. If you go to most game stores, they will have nights where you can meet people and join a game. If you have a nerd-themed restaurant or store, oftentimes they will also have game nights. You can try to get some of your friends or family members into D&D. There's plenty of ways to play tabletop without giving Wizards more money. And if we ignore the 2024 rule books, if we stop buying any 5th edition stuff they release later this year and possibly even into next year, if we show them that we aren't going to give in to their monetization schemes, they will have to change the way they release the product. Otherwise, they will go bankrupt. And that's how we win, and This is why we fight, by standing up against horrible corporations that exploit their employees and exploit their customers. We deserve better, and we will fight until we get better. Because we aren't just whales who are designed to empty our wallets into the hands of the corporate goons at Hasbro and Wizards of the Coast. We are individuals, and when we are together and our voice can be heard at the same time, and we all just say, "No!" that is how we win. I hope this has inspired you to stand up and not be exploited by Wizards of the Coast. I hope this video has helped inspire you to look for alternative games and to support indie developers. But most importantly, I hope this video has inspired you to fight the good fight, because if we don't, who will? Until next time, thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. Share this video with those who need to hear the message of fight the good fight. And until next time, I'll see you at the tavern.